I just got the biggest gut punch in the entire world. I was just on a jog this morning. I was listening to an Alex Hormozi podcast, like every single person in the business space does, but it was him on Chris Williams' show. And it was this whole episode on happiness and the balance between such while you're running a business and how all those things. But there was one analogy, an example that he was using that completely blew my life away. And it's just so true. He was talking about when he was first running one of his gyms where a trainer that worked for him that made about $25,000 per year. He was the best trainer. And so Alex, as most business owners do, is he promoted him to manager. He went from making $25,000 a year to like $40,000 to $50,000 per year. A few months later, he was crushing it. He was doing exceptionally well as a manager, but he went to Alex and said, dude, can I just go back to being a trainer? And Alex looked at him perplexed and said, but you know that means your pay is going to be basically cut in half? And the guy said, yes, I'm okay with being poor if it means doing the thing that I love and being happy. Alex said he couldn't believe or comprehend what he was saying. He said, I respect your decision, but I don't understand it. So he went back to being a trainer. Didn't really see him for a few years, but he said he saw that same guy recently over the past month. This guy came up to Alex and was like, oh my God, when you were running a gym, you did all these things and you grew these massive business. You must just be absolutely crushing it in your life. And Alex said, dude, you won. You are the winner in all of this. I've been chasing what you have had this entire time. Because he said this was the happiest guy ever. He was the happiest guy ever when he was a trainer when he was 20. He was the happiest guy when he's a trainer now when he's 40. He's still not making any money, but he is content with what he has, which is real success in most ways. It's not what you have, but being happy with what you have. And I see this in myself incredibly frequently. I think most business owners have something in them. They just are always wanting more. No matter what you have, it's not good enough. The problem with that is you're not happy if you're making $5,000 a month. You're not happy if you're making $15,000 a month. You're not happy if you're making 30, 50, 100 because you're always just chasing the next thing. That internal desire is a human instinct because how have humans progressed from literally being in caves to starting its first fire, progressing to where we are today where we can literally get unlimited entertainment and there's boats, airplanes, houses, we have electrical, we're fucking going to space. The reason why we have all these things is because humans want more. They have further desires. That process of desiring more is the spark for creation. If nobody ever wanted more, we would be in a plateaued society which would probably just crumble beneath us. So it's a very human instinct to want more. The problem is, if you're only happy if you want more, that is a substantial problem. And I've literally had this conversation with myself as my business progressed. You start making more money. You go from making $0 to a few $1,000s per month, and you're like, I will be happy if I make $10,000 per month. Know for a fact that I will be. And then I hit $10,000 a month, and I said, yeah, this is okay, but I know that I'll be happy once I hit $25,000 per month. You're like, okay, Josh, from an outsider perspective, you were just making $4,000 per month, then you were making $10,000 per month, now you're making $25,000 per month. You're in the top 1% of the entire earth of income. But you think if you just double your income here to $50,000 per month, then you will be happy. I'm saying this because these are the conversations that I would have. It only ever gets worse. The numbers only ever get bigger. And there was a study done a while ago. Someone that's worth $1 million versus hundreds of millions of dollars. And they surveyed, I think, 1,000 plus people that were in that category of already being in the top 0.1% of the entire world in terms of income and wealth. And they just asked them, how much more money would you need for your happiness to go from a 7 to a 10 or something along those lines? Like, how much more money would it take for you to severely increase your happiness and sustain it over a long period of time? The average that every single person said, regardless if they were making $1 million or they were worth $100 million, they needed a 2.5 to 3.5 times what they had. Everybody thought that they would be happier if they just had 3 times more than what they have. A normal incremental jump. You go from making 50,000 anything to just wanting substantially more at all times. Going back to the original point, I think that we all know someone that is just happy where they are and they don't necessarily want more. The problem is you want more for those people. I know that I do, but I shouldn't. You can't want more for someone else than they want for themselves. And especially when you start to hire people and you start to do these things, you could say, dude, you could do so well. And it's easy to see the potential in other people and be upset when they fail your perceived potential of them. That is just an arbitrary metric upon what you think they should do. And other people should not live their life the way that you want them to live it. I don't want to live my life the way that you want me to live it. I want to live it the way I want to, and vice versa. In a lot of ways, that trainer that's now probably still just making $35,000, $40,000 per year is still more successful than me, still more successful than most people because he has always just done what he has wanted to do. I used to think success was maxing out your player stats in every single manner. You had to max out your physicality, you had to max out your mental state, and you had to max out your financial state, and at least to a very high degree. And if you had your mental, your financial, and then your physical, I would consider you very, very successful. successful. If this person that makes $25,000 per year is very successful, you have to relook that and say everybody's arbitrary metric of success is going to be completely different. No matter what anyone sees, no matter how many podcasts I see that tell me doing more things is not going to make me happy, I am happy doing more things. I am happier when I am trying to achieve physical greatness, when I'm trying to mentally stimulate myself, become intellectually smarter, understand more things. And when I achieve a financial degree of financial freedom, I find it fun to play the game of business and then be an investor to trying to buy real estate, to billboards, to offset your taxable income with taxes. This stuff is an incredibly fun game to me, and I want to play it at the absolute highest level. And I love competing at the highest level with the biggest business owners. I find that fun. I love to hang out with those people. And the only way to hang out with those people and have incredibly intellectually stimulating conversations with those people and learn a lot from them is by doing the same thing. And so I'm going to continue to do the same thing regardless of what happens. But that doesn't mean I should be thinking that a way that another person lives their life is wrong. To most people, the way I live my life is wrong.